Good morning from Panhandle Outdoors with Winston Chester. Panhandle Outdoors, your source for fishing, hunting, and information for folks who enjoy the great outdoors. Now sit back, relax. It's Panhandle Outdoors.
Good morning and welcome to Panhandle Outdoors. Today is Wednesday, February the 4th, and Winston is up a tree somewhere, so that's why I'm here filling in for him. But let's look at the weather brought to us by Haney Technical Center. I hope Winston's got his rain stuff with him, excuse me, because we're looking at about an 80% chance of rain today. It's pretty much a done deal. We got wind northeast at 5 to 10 miles an hour. High is only going to be 59 with a low tonight of 45. So our crazy all over the place weather just seems to continue. Now, I've started adding sunrise and sunset. Sunrise is at 6:33 a.m. and sunsets at 5:22. So days are getting a little bit longer, and I think it's March when we have the time change again. So Appalach, the river reading at Appalach is 7.4. And it's going to be a slow fall through the weekend, which is always good down there, especially for you guys catfishing. And I know there's been a great deal of fish being caught down there, both brim and bass. So it's a great time with this mostly good weather to be down there at it. Now, Choctaw, we're looking at 7 feet, and this rain's going to give it a little bump up, but then short-lived. And then it's going to start to fall out, and that's a great level over there to fish some of those holes as it starts turning from 7 feet and headed down. The tides this morning, the low tide at 7:06 a.m. with the high tide at 9:22 p.m. So we're going to take our first break. Be right back with a couple of special guests. Hope you stay with us. Welcome back. As you can see, I am joined here by a couple of really special guests and sponsors on this show. We've got Leslie here from Box Tops Hats Company, yes, and also Captain Rick Corley, a familiar face. But welcome.
Good morning. Thank you.
Welcome. So tell us, let's just start off. How's the hat business?
The hat business is very well, thank you.
Good.
And thanks to Panhandle Outdoors, I have been introduced to the community. Yeah. And palm leaf hats sell themselves because of the quality as well as the benefits of the construction of the hat. Mm-hmm. Palm leaf hats offer 98% protection from the sun's UVA and UVB rays, as well as offer the UPF protection of 50 plus.
Wow.
So.
Now, I learned something this morning that Rick told me, and I know that, and you've got one on.
Oh, yeah.
And obviously that's it doesn't do much for your looks in certain cases, but you told me something this morning that I didn't know, that you had a little bout with
melanoma cancer. In
mm-hmm.
06, I was up in Maine and doing some work for the Navy, and I had a knot come up on my cheek, and I thought, and then a burning sensation between the back two molars, and I thought, what's going on here? Well, I called my dentist down here and told him. He said, no, it's not an abscess tooth, but he says, are you able to deal with it? I said, yeah. He said, well, come see me as soon as you get back. When are you coming back? I said, I'm flying back Sunday. He said, come in here Monday. Well, they checked, and they found a tumor. And he said, normally 8% of the time it's malignant. Most of the time it's not. Mm-hmm. Well, then I had Dr. Toner did a good job. He went in, and he, being a good doctor, he realized this one is beyond my capabilities. But he said, Rick, we got a problem. If you don't get this taken care of, you won't be here in April. 6 months.
That's a wake-up call.
Yes, sir. That'll get your attention. So I went to UAB, to Marshall Uris up there. He did the second surgery, and then I came back, and D.B. Hurst here with the Cancer Center did 43 radiation treatments on me, and I beat. I'm cancer-free, and it's been 8 years. So between a lot of prayers and good doctors and me doing what I was told,
right,
I'm still here.
Well,
this right here gonna keep me here.
Well, and that's why I brought it up.
Thanks,
thanks for sharing that. It's not always easy, and I know you didn't mind, but
no.
It's, not right now, but it gets hot, and this sun bears down on you.
August is unbearable here, especially going in and out of these boats you get in the hot engine room. Yeah. It's 135 degrees.
Yeah,
So,
and I mean it
get you.
that's got to be a huge point for you. You know, I know you talked about the UV on it and everything, and of course they're good-looking hats. Obviously, it's the first time this morning I've had a chance to pick one up or
This one?
Yeah.
play with them, but they're great. And you know, this is serious. I mean, this is a problem. We talk about the sunscreen and we talk about the buffs and we talk about doing all that stuff, but when you're just constantly being pounded in this part,
Right.
you know, right here, you
Well,
got to have some
Bill,
protection.
in the when you get a diagnosis like Rick got, or even something less severe, it's a wake-up call because it's a change for you, and you have to go into a warrior mindset to fight this thing. And
That's
so I hear a lot of people say, well, I'm not a hat wearer, you know, I just really don't like hats and so forth.
You will be.
And I understand, because I was not a hat wearer, to be honest with you, prior to becoming a dealer. However, during the same time I became a dealer, I had within my immediate family some news that was a wake-up call to me as well. And so I laid vanity aside and realized that, you know, I want to be smart and utilize the best protection possible and enjoy the outdoors. I don't want to be in fear of anything, so be prepared, be smart. And the Sunbody palm leaf hat offers, like I said, the protection of the 98% from the UVA, UVB rays. And you can hold any of the palm leaf hats, my hats, up to the sun, and you will not see the sun's rays penetrate this hat.
That's fantastic.
And this hat offers a lot of variety simply because it's got the snaps that allow you to snap it on the side or on both sides, one side. Anyways, gives you a lot of variety. It's got the chin strap. And if you're on the beach or outdoors and the wind kicks up like it has been the last 2 or 3 days, you won't lose your hat. It'll just simply fall back.
Right.
But the variety of hats is some more of an adventure style hat, simply like this, or a dress hat like the pork pie. And I don't want to take away from Rick's time, but I do want to say that the last 3 or 4 decades, our society has been more of a cap wearer, which I understand.
That's true.
And I have, you know, purchased a lot of caps with boys over the past few years, couple of decades. But a cap simply protects you as wide as your sunglasses are. And there are more reported cases of skin cancer
Where
on
I got
the
mine
ears.
was right in here. right behind
Exactly,
the ear.
on the ears, the sides of the face, and the sides of the neck. So be smart and get a good hat.
Well, bottom line, it's better to prevent it than to have to fight it.
Exactly.
So let's take this quick break and we'll be right back. All right, welcome back. We're having a good time up here if you can't tell. Let's start with the tide chart brought to us by Kent Forest Lawn, where carrying counts. And you can see today, you know, we got a big full moon out there. Got a pretty good movement on the tide chart. So it's going to be a good day to get out there, especially, you know, as we start. I like to fish when it starts to fall. But getting back real quick, not real quick, but it seems like, you know, when I was younger, I didn't really pay that much attention to it.
No, nobody did.
But, you know, as you get older and you start having friends and people who come down with this, you pay a lot of attention. And, you know, you have the high-tech clothes now that you can wear without burning up. And
There you go.
I never go in the water without a face mask anymore.
Right.
But the problem is, you know, like you said,
Yeah.
it's those areas where you're exposed. And plus, these are good-looking hats. I mean, these are walking around hats in the.
Even on the
And it's not just in the water. It's not just fishing.
No.
You know, it's
Yeah.
when you're outside, when you're having that picnic, when you're having that. And you know, you mentioned I had, you know, 2 sons, and they wore hats just religiously. Well, I really never wore them, you know, unless I'm going out, you know, I didn't have it. But, you know, I find now that I'm leaning more towards, you know, covering up, especially with this kind of haircut. There's a lot of exposed up there,
there
you
you
know.
go.
So Rick, what's going on?
Not a whole lot other than it's getting cold. And
It is getting cold, and we talked about this morning. You know, last year we had some days with some severe, serious cold.
Yep.
And I think there's a lot of people out there that, and me being one of them, that I'm not sure of everything that you should be doing to protect your engine.
Well, not just the engine, the boat too.
And the boat as well.
Yeah, keep the water out of it, because fiberglass, if you got water in there, ice, when it freezes, it expands, and you can bust things in your boat if you got water left in there. So get rid of the standing water. But the other thing is, if you got the engine tilted up, that water's still in that foot. Put it all the way down where that water can run out. If it's going to be real cold, it's not a bad idea to maybe put a tarp over it. And if it's even colder than that, it gets down in the low 20s, I'd put me a 100-watt bulb in a extension cord. Yeah, and put it up under there where it'll keep some of the heat. There's just enough heat off a 100-watt bulb that it won't freeze under a tarp like that. It'll stay warm enough.
Where do you really start getting worried about temperature?
Anytime I go below freezing, I start considering it. It depends on how long it's going to be. Usually you're good down to about 30 degrees, provided it's not going to be all night. If it's just an hour or two, it's not
a big deal.
But if it's going to be more than a couple of hours, it's going to be down around below freezing, 2 or 3 degrees, I would start considering at least covering it with a tarp.
Yeah, exactly. And you talk to some people who they think about their plants, they think about a lot of that stuff, but then, they're leaving the probably most expensive thing out there, and, like your wells.
Well, that lower case is $2,500.
Yeah, they don't give those away.
No, they
don't give those away at all. And if that water's in there and it expands and it busts those seals, you're done. And the bad part about it is you may not know it till
you get out there and get it in the water.
Out there.
That's right. And it's like, uh-oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's an excellent way to protect it. If it's like it got down to 10, it got into teens. If you're not protecting
global
your motor,
warming,
you're not taking care of global warming. But if you're not taking some time, some precaution, not just your well at the house and everything, but make sure, like Rick said, that motor foot's down, get a little cover on it, maybe put a light out there if it is going to be extreme.
Yep.
And, I mean, you don't really have fuel concerns, but I mean,
but you got there's still water in the cooling system.
Right.
And, yeah, and you just you don't want it to freeze, because it will bust a block even on these 4-strokes. So you still got water and stuff up in your cooling system. Yeah. So no, covered up.
Yeah. And I get you run into a lot of that. I mean, did
some
of hidden stuff.
Once in a while, we will run into that. The other thing is, of course, as we get on into the spring, you got another concern. There'll be lightning storms, and boats get hit by lightning. And I've never seen 2 lightning strikes alike, but that gets interesting, as they say.
Yeah, I've only seen one, but it just fried wires. Everything was
I had one over at Destin. It was $75,000 when they got through fixing everything. Wow. Lightning does weird stuff, and it runs crazy places. And you think, why did it go there? Well, nobody told lightning it couldn't, so it does what it wants to. Yeah, it goes everywhere. Yeah.
And that's where there's not a whole lot you can do to prevent it, other than try not to be out there when it's when it's going to get bad.
And if it's going to get bad and you got a T-top, stay under the T-top. Stay in that umbrella, because like sailboats, the top of the mast, 60 degrees off that mast, that you've got a cone of protection under that. That it's very likely it won't hit you. It'll run over you, and you probably have to go change your britches when you get through, because it'll get you excited. But it doesn't penetrate. It doesn't go to you and run you like a ground. But you get static. Your hair on your arm will stand up. I've been at sea, and I was down in the Caribbean. We got hit one time, blowed the radar completely off the ship. And I was sitting there. Of course, I got up rather quickly out of my chair, because the radar to my right throwed sparks all over the wheelhouse. And we had a cockatiel that was the ship's mascot. He was not happy. He was flying all over the wheelhouse. And it was exciting.
You could be surprised how quick you could move.
Yeah, right? Yeah. Even the old fat man could get out of that chair in a hurry.
I'm glad we brought that up, because I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah.
I had no idea. If you're caught out there, stay under it, right?
Yep. Stay somewhere under the bimini. Anything metal like that acts as a shield. And the highest point, if you got a VHF antenna, it will work just like a mast on a sailboat. It's
Wow.
aground. So it gives you some protection. And stay low in the boat. And basically, if you see it coming, don't stay out there. Get in. But a lot of people, they think we'll wait and run at the last minute. That's dumb.
No, especially here, and I guess it's probably true anywhere, this weather changes in a hurry.
Yes, it does.
And if you're out on the boat and you need to have some updated electronics or even a weather radio, that you can listen to. But, with the radar on them now and we can see these storms and stuff, you just can't, that's something you can't mess with.
Well, one of the old tricks we used to use, the old timers, because they didn't have radar, know that the wind shift late in the afternoon. A lot of people say, well, the wind's, blowing from offshore and it's coming into the beach. Those thunderstorms back up there ain't coming down. No, that's why that wind is sucking that air up in there.
That's right.
And about 3:30 or 4, they're going to start down to the Gulf. And you got to go through that to get home.
Yeah, I've been there.
So
that's not
what you
much
do
fun
is you
as it
watch,
sounds
and
like.
if it looks like they're building big, about 3:30, you need to hook them up and head for the house.
Yeah.
Because
pay attention.
Pay attention to what's going on around you.
All right, good information. Let's take this quick break. We'll be right back. All right, welcome back. You see we've had a wardrobe change here this morning. and this is really comfortable. I got a little style to this one, where it comes up. And again, it can't do much for my looks, but I'm sure it's got a lot of protection here. But let's talk real quick.
It's got a chin strap.
And it's got a chin strap,
But
which
it's
is
in the
very
back.
important. Spring Fishing Classic over at Bass Pro. That's Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and Mark and Michael Coward are going to be over there basically all day, and they're going to be with the Power Pole and the Z-Man group, or the Power Pole display, I guess. And they got some. There's always have some giveaways over there, and I think that everybody that comes there is going to have a discount, like for Power Pole. So, if you don't have one, you need one. Those are the greatest things in the world. And also, I wanted to remind you on February 10th, out at Legendary Marine, Mark and Michael are doing a fishing seminar out there. There's going to be food. There's going to be giveaways. It was well attended last year and a lot of fun. And I mean, we had people who were just starting to fish to people who were guides that came over. And it's just the sharing of information. You can always pick up something from somebody. And speaking of Mark Cowart, let's look at our peak fishing times. It is 11 p.m. to 1 a.m., which I am most likely going to miss. But it is 11:42 to 1:42. So depending on weather, right in the middle of the day, if you take a long lunch, it might be a great time to be out there. But okay, let's get. How am I doing? Am I looking all right here?
You're
This
doing
is comfortable.
well.
This is really surprisingly comfortable.
Right.
So it feels good. Now let's talk about you. Where do you get them?
The palm leaf hats are found at Box Tops Hat Company, located in the Shadow Box on Thomas Drive, 1711 Thomas Drive, and that's where you can find the palm leaf hats. And I also work the farmers market in Panama City Beach.
Oh, really?
On the weekend, Saturday and Sunday, so I'm there as well. But as Rick was talking about, caring for your boats and your houses, care for yourself. You can't enjoy the outdoors if you don't care for yourself, and be smart and enjoy it and get out there.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And it's, I know Donna loves to go to the Shadow Box out there. That's a really neat little place.
Yes.
And you find a lot of cool stuff out there,
Yes.
Kept me out of the doghouse this year.
Is that right?
Yeah, I found it.
Now, we also, we've got a holiday coming up, right?
Yep. Valentine's Day.
Valentine's Day. And I'm assuming these hats make a good, caring gift for somebody who's outside a lot.
I certainly think so.
You would think so?
Yes. And gift certificates are available. I do not accept returns simply because of the hygiene aspect of the hats. So if you have someone in mind for a Valentine's Day gift, I recommend a gift certificate. You can get those at the Shadow Box. And
that way they get the right hat the first time.
The hat wearer can come in, try the hat on. I have a variety of 30 different styles at this time.
Wow.
And an order is being placed as we speak. So I've just got a constant inventory of hats that come in.
I've got this one. I like it so well, I ordered another one just like it.
Well, just in case.
Yeah, just to make sure.
Well, a lot of what I do with hats is I'll keep one in the boat, and I'll keep one in the
There you
truck,
go.
and I'm always forgetting something. I have to duplicate just about everything that I've got. Well, Rick, I wanted to ask you about, too, a lot of guys winterize their boats. Some of us just fish all year long, but is there anything in particular you need to do coming out of that, when you're first starting to run it? We've talked about the extreme protecting it, and if it's winterized, what do you do to make sure it's operating properly? Protect.
One of the things is you want to change all your filters as you're coming back out, and I like new oil. If it's a 4-stroke, I'd change oil at that time for sure. That way, because around here, most people use a boat 150 to 200 hours a year. And if you change oil, oil does not go bad, but it can get dirty. But sitting like that is not as good either as it is being run every time.
Yeah, that's true.
And so that and check your foot grease. That's a good way to see if you had any water in that foot or if anything's going on. You do that in the spring when you get ready to use it. Then you know it's okay, and you got to the last point. Around here, we never ever have a freeze after Easter. I don't care when Easter comes. After Easter, it's not going to freeze. So if you do it right there around Easter time, after that, you're not going to have any real cold weather, so it's a good time to service.
Well, I've had a great time this morning. I hope you guys have enjoyed it, and a lot of good information. Not only protecting yourself, protecting your boat, and just being aware.
Well, I'm one of my favorite people.
Yeah. Well,
I want to look after me.
Well, mine too. Mine too. So listen. I appreciate you guys watching. Winston's going to be back tomorrow. You need to check out these hats. Be aware of this cold weather coming. Pay attention to these tips. Have a great day. Do something nice for somebody, and we'll see you later.
Thanks for joining us for Panhandle Outdoors with Winston Chester. Panhandle Outdoors features hunting, fishing, and other activities and information to help you enjoy the great outdoors. Join us next time for Panhandle Outdoors.